I hit the button and Reagan gets up and leaves. Hello again, wrestling fans. Perfect timing.
I don't know why I did that. I have no idea. That was really weird of me. I don't know. I think I just thought you were getting ready to read an ad. I was just, oh my
Well, we are off to a good start this week. Hey,
God.
wrestling fans, welcome to
Well, I wanted
AIWF
to,
Ringside Wrestling. I am Matt Carter, being joined as always by Brian and Reagan Danzig. Rick Diesel is missing in action.
oh yeah,
We think he's at the food truck with the Christmas lights, but we're not
he is.
sure. And I don't know if Galax has internet, like Wi-Fi
Yeah,
all over the city yet, so I doubt it. But they should be able to pay for that as much money as they get with that Fiddlers
Fiddler's
Convention every
Convention.
year. They draw a lot of money with that. But anyway, so good to have you with us. A lot going on in the world of wrestling. Um, we talked about WWE ID last week. That's kind of cooled off. But how about it? Saturday night's main event made its return last night after about 15 years or so. But let me just say, in 2006, 2007, 2008, whenever that was that it came back this last time, it did not have the feel of a Saturday night's main event. It had a feel of let's tape a few matches after Raw goes on the air and
Hmm.
call it Saturday night's main event. And that's what it was. This was different. This had the nostalgia.
Hmm.
Uh,
I
you know,
love that entrance. I love the it was still flashy with but it was like very understated for WWE, and I loved the old school, entrance where you had to go and it's like this wide, and you're just going down, and the people are smacking your arms and shoulders and stuff. I just liked that a lot.
Nassau Coliseum was jam packed too. I mean, like they had to use a little bitty set because they sold all those cotton picking seats and couldn't set up a big stage. And so you're right, it looked great with those steel barricades.
Hmm.
And that was really nice. And the wrestlers are not used. I love the young wrestlers are not that used to be the fans being that close. You
Hmm.
could tell some of them did not like it and it made them nervous, especially the girls. But thank goodness there was nobody in Uniondale last night that got any kind of touchy feely, all weird like with the girls on national TV. So thank you for that. One time I noticed when I was younger, I was watching old Crockett tapes and I was watching Baby Doll come to the ring with Dusty Rhodes. And when she got to where the fans were real close to the rails, she did like this as she walked down the aisle. And I was like, wonder why Baby Doll, crossed her arms like that as she's passing through those people. When there was a girl in the room, I can't remember who it was, and that explained to me, oh, she doesn't want to get felt up by no perverts.
Yeah,
And I was
I'm
like,
sure.
really? That's a thing like that? And she's like, oh, yeah. In those tight quarters? Yep. I was like, wow, okay. It never occurred to me to, grab the poop of a complete stranger.
The top
I
of
don't know. I
feel
guess I just one don't have that much of pervert in me as some people
of
do. But I'd like to go through it. I got the photos here from our friends at WWE.com. Actually, we don't know anybody at WWE.com, but nobody's gave us a cease and desist yet, so we'll keep using them. Uh, Drew
Gives
McIntyre.
cease and desist. That means we found it.
Yeah, well, somebody's noticed us. That'd probably be a good sign. Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre got the show started off. Drew
That's one of
McIntyre,
the best matches I've ever seen. That
yeah, that was
match,
nothing.
goodness gracious, those two went at it. And it was, as I was watching, I was like, this is one of the best matches I've ever seen. So
Mhm.
I
Yeah, I
like
noticed.
Drew McIntyre anyway because he's good looking, but he's also a really good wrestler.
Yeah, my wife likes him too. Red, white, and blue ropes, blue shirts on the referees, like in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Good look. Good look. I mean, they kept it modern with the LED board and posts and everything, and I like that because it was nostalgic but modern. If that makes
Yes.
sense.
No,
You
it
know,
does. It does.
and so because Pat McAfee said it right at the beginning. We got a lot of people going to be tuning in tonight that have not seen professional wrestling ever or in a long time,
Yeah, I
and
agree with
so
him.
it needed to be, yes, let's scratch that nostalgia itch, but let's make sure it it looks good, for the modern audience, and it did. Great matchup between these two. Drew McIntyre's on a revenge tour. He's finished his business with CM Punk. He's after the bloodline now. Sami Zayn was the first step in that.
Yeah, I'm
And he got the
excited to
victory.
see. He was on some kind of like podcast or stuff, and he walked off because he was saying that nobody respects him and stuff. So I think that's a valid feeling. I mean, after the CM Punk, you know, I guess you could say swerve thing, causing him to lose, you know, it's he's on his way back. So
Mm-hmm. So look, there's here we got a first bit of nostalgia. Jimmy Hart looks great.
Mm-hmm.
So does
what
Tito
is
Santana.
what's that, Brian? So what did you say?
I was like, it looks good.
The only thing
Yeah.
is Jimmy needs to tone down on the tanner.
Well, he knew he was going to be on TV, baby. He had to look good for his fans.
Yeah, baby. That's yeah.
Yeah. I hate that his bar closed up down there in Florida. He had a tiki bar at one of the hotels in Florida that had a bunch of his
Huh.
wrestling memorabilia in there for years, but it closed up. Now the guy in the middle, I can't remember what his name was, but he's a Hall of Famer too.
Yeah, he was doing that with his ring the whole time, like, huh? See? I
In the
don't
Hall of
remember
Fame
who.
too. Well, he
I
wasn't
don't
in
know.
front of the camera. They said he was really important behind the scenes, and I should know this because I'm a wrestling nerd of Potsy like proportions. That look that up, kids. But he did something. Oh, he had a very important job behind the scenes, but I can't remember. Uh, I'd have to look it up, but I'd have to remember his name first. But anyway, so next we got going this one right here. I consider match of the night. That's my opinion. I don't know if you
Oh
guys.
man,
Mhm.
Uh,
I,
when I
I'm gonna.
saw Charles Robinson in the ring for that, I looked at Jinky and I was like, "Oh, something big's going to happen here," because remember I told you they had that match on SmackDown last week where it was like their makeup match for the women's War Games match. It's Survivor Series being so bad. It was Piper Niven and Bianca Belair, and they went three
Mhm.
segments and this epic match. And Charles Robinson was the referee. And I remember thinking during the second segment, I was like, "Oh, I see why Robinson's out there for this one. This is important." And
Chris Tenney. Oh, sorry. Chris Tenney
just
said the guy was Dicker Ebersol,
Dick
and he
Ebersol,
yes,
is
and
he sure about that?
I don't know that he says sorry, no,
I
says
thought
that he's pretty sure was the founder of SMNE. I don't know what that is because I'm not.
Saturday night's main event.
Oh,
I know who Dick Ebersol is. He was in charge of NBC Sports back in the 80s. Uh, I don't think that's him. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'll Google
let's
it in a second
Google.
after we get done our slideshow. Um, but anyway, so it was for the women's title, Io Sky against Liv Morgan. I had high hopes that this was going to be a good match, and it did not disappoint. What do you
It
guys
did
think?
not.
Yeah.
I am Io Sky. She is so good, and I had said last week that I had not seen a women's match that was impressive to me, and then I watched this one, and it's like they have the ones there that can do it, and this match was fantastic. Like it was Io Sky. I really thought she might have been able to pull it off.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, she's capable of being a champion. She's had when she first got into WWE from NXT, her and Dakota Kai won the tag team titles pretty quick and held on to them for a long time. But you heard the people when she came out, when her music hit, they popped so loud you could barely hear the music. And I was just like, wow. I was like, everybody watching WWE gets it with this chick now, man. Like if you're a wrestling fan and you love this business the way that most of us do that shell out the money to go to these big events, people like Io Sky and Liv Morgan will bring a tear to your eye because of the joy they bring you because they just do this shit right. They just do it right. Here was the turning point. Io went for that moonsault and Liv got her feet up. but they kept
Got her
going.
nose busted.
Yeah, Io hit her with it. Yeah. Tell me the girls don't work a little snug. Io hit her with that knee. A little snug. Yeah, that was awesome. And to Liv Morgan's credit, yeah, she's a pretty girl. You got, that's part of it. You gotta look the part. But you know, nothing better than a girl that can take a knee to the face in a fight, come up with a bloody nose and still smile.
Because
You
that was
know,
something I noticed about the match was how strong both of them looked. Like sometimes when I watch some women's matches in different places, like they don't come across as strong.
Mhm.
And I could like this match did not feel that way with me. They were giving it to each other. So
Well, put it to you like this: Liv Morgan is even like because she's so small. Cornette initially just shit on her, all the time. But even now, months later, he's like, "Yeah, she can go. She's just so small," because he hates being wrong. But but even he's got to admit, like, damn, this girl could go, and she can. I remember when she first came out on NXT, and she would paint her tongue a different color every week and have a have her baseball cap turned around backwards. And I used to say, "Oh, she's Carmella 2.0," because it was like she was copying Carmella's gimmick. And but now that's completely changed. She is definitely her own person now.
I just to kind of pause. You mentioned Jim Cornette. Did you hear about the AI picture that ran around with Jim Cornette and it looked like he had his arm around and palling around with Dave Meltzer?
I saw the one where he had his arm around Vince Russo.
Was it Vince Russo? That's it.
I saw
Sorry,
that one earlier. I thought that was
but
hilarious.
I know. I bet that made him mad. Oh my
No, I
god,
don't think it did. I think he'll
that
probably cause him to sell some more t-shirts.
that's true. Make it into a T-shirt.
Yeah.
But no, this match. After I said that I hated the women's wrestling in WWE, this match has intrigued me a little more. But this is Io Sky is the one that was doing so well with Candice LeRae in the War Games match, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were the two that I said were the best in that match. So, um,
Oh, Candice LeRae still has not proven herself to me yet because she is so tiny. Here I go, sounding like Cornette. But
uh,
she can talk her ass off. I know she's a wrestling historian. And it
mhm,
looks like they're beginning to work an angle where she is trying to divide Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax.
mhm.
So
Uh,
we could be coming into a window where we're going to be able to see what she can do. So
Google her and Roderick Strong's match, and you will love her immediately and
oh,
know
I
how
don't
good
think
she
so,
is.
Reagan. I don't think me watching a tiny little girl wrestling a boy is going to make me like anything about that.
Oh, it's so good though. It's so good. Um, and Roderick Strong's not huge.
Well, not
Oh,
anymore. He used to be quite good
he
size, but
wasn't big in this one.
he looks like Tony Khan's been paying him in cat food over there since he's been to AEW. Uh, but then Rhea Ripley came out, so the wrestling fans that are new to WWE could take a look at her because she looks so freaking jacked. And you know, Rhea's an impressive physical specimen. That's all I can say about her.
How tall is she? Because I when she came out and did the tip, that thing. Her wing. I said it again. Wingspan. I said her wingspan is huge, but then I'm like her arm span. Like she just
I'd have
looked.
to look up her stats. You have to Google her stats because I've never seen her wrestle in person. Well, yeah, I did, but I was so angry the time I saw because she wrestled Nikki Cross in a house show match at Charlotte when we were expecting Charlotte Flair to be there,
Mhm.
and the crowd. We immediately, when we saw that Charlotte Flair weren't going to be in that match, turned on Rhea and Nikki Cross and started chanting, "We want Charlotte." So they took it home real quick, and I didn't get to see her wrestle very long
He's only
because
five
they knew
seven.
they better get out of there. We were going to
Yeah.
start throwing bottles. Um,
Yes.
because that was when Charlotte Flair was at her peak, and for her not to appear on a house show coming out
Yeah.
of the pandemic, we were hot.
I'm sure.
So anyway, so no offense, Rhea. Charlotte, North Carolina still loves you. It wasn't your fault you got put in a shitty situation. I'm sure she's forgot about that. But anyway, so they had their big face off. So we'll see. We're probably going to go. I think we'll finally get the Rhea Liv Morgan rematch, probably WrestleMania, I would think.
That seems like a WrestleMania match.
Oh, yeah.
That
And Raquel back to her old black, dressed in black, take no shit type look. So good for her. Glad to see. Your back is impressive, but I was getting sick of seeing it every week. So I'm glad she's back with her old tag team partner. Let's see. Next up was Gunther. Jakey and I do that all the time. If he's out there wrestling, we're constantly. Love this guy against Damian Priest and Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight title. Maybe it's that I don't like three-way matches, but this was my least favorite match on the card. It had some good moments in it, but
yeah, but yeah, it was. I don't like triple threats either, really. But I think they did it well. I think it's just, I don't know. I think the ending was really good. Like, he put
yes,
Damien, I guess, powerbombed him onto the steps and then took out Finn Balor. So, I did have to explain to my child what 0% body fat meant on a person, because somebody said that about Finn Balor, like when they were doing the tail of the tape. It might have been Pat Madden. So he's got 0% body.
Said 1%.
1% body fat. So.
Yeah, he ate a donut 6 months ago, and that's always been a joke about Finn Balor, just how fit he is. I remember when Dean Ambrose was still in WWE, he was cutting a promo backstage with Finn Balor, and he was like, "Look at your abs, dude. They're incredible. It wouldn't kill you to eat a carb. Here." And he handed him a donut, and Finn took one bite of it and just, and then it faded to black. But yeah. He spit it out probably.
Probably. Sure. But
he's probably one of those guys that's so health conscious. Like if you want to give him something sweet or something, he'll taste it, but he won't swallow it. You know what I mean? He'll chew it up and then spit it out.
Bless anybody that can do that. I don't have.
Yeah, I agree. Willpower.
This match, it was good. It wasn't as good as the first two matches, but
when you set the bar that high, it's kind of hard, right?
Yeah, that and just the format of a three-way, it's just hard to do.
Originally, this match was supposed to be just Finn Balor and Gunther one-on-one, and I don't know why they ended up sticking Priest in there. I mean, they made it that way because Finn Balor got a little lippy with Adam Pearce, and so he added an extra man to the match. But yeah, they could not. They use in if they're going to have a tournament, like to determine a number one contender, what they've started doing over the last few months is they'll have triple threat matches in the first round, right? And so, and then in the first round, and so you have four triple threats, and then your four winners will come out, and then you'll have regular matches for your semis and your finals. And so I kind of like them for that purpose. If you need to do a tournament to help you burn through the first rounds quicker, all for it, but not in this. But Gunther won. I think we all knew that was going to happen because I don't know if you've been following Gunther since he came to the WWE, but he does not lose much. The only match I can remember him losing is the Intercontinental title to Sami Zayn at WrestleMania last year, and I thought that was a fluke. So, and he lost to Cody Rhodes at the Crown Jewel. But other than that, he doesn't lose. So there we go. How about the return of Jesse the Body Ventura?
The funny, he did well. Yeah. He said some things that were a little, like when he was talking about that Dom knows how to pick. I don't know how to say. I don't know.
He said that Dominic knows how to pick women.
Yes, and I was like, okay, let's make sure we don't go off on some weird tangent. But then when he was the funniest thing I noticed is when he was actually doing the commentary for the Kevin Owens Cody Rhodes match. Like they were Pat McAfee's like, we know that snake lived a long, healthy life and died of natural causes. Because I guess they're trying to play off so people don't get mad that he's wearing snake skin. And then he just was like, no, he's like, this snake had a name, Damien. This is and Pat McAfee just reaches over and pats him on the shoulder and like he stopped talking. I just thought it was funny, but he did fine.
Yeah, that was Damien, and that was Jinky was like, "Who's Damien?" I was like, "That was Jake the Snake Roberts, Snake," but Earthquake killed it, and so Earthquake did the earthquake splash on it. So I guess Jesse got the remains. I mean, there was nothing but skin left. The Earthquake was a big guy, so still when he landed on it, the guts just flew out of his mouth. And, it was probably pretty easy.
But Jesse Ventura, first of all, I was shocked at how old he looked. Like I knew he was old, but I think he looked older than I thought he would look. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm old now, and so I can't comprehend people like him being that old. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I enjoyed it. I think it was he and this guy did a really good job together.
Oh Lord, Reagan,
I don't know who that guy is.
Huh? That's Joe Tessitore. He's been calling like big time football games for ESPN and ABC for many years. Oh. So I know you guys are not football people, but this is the guy I've been talking about that I was so happy that came to Raw. Like, I mean, when Saturday night's main event came on last night and his voice was narrating it, I jumped out of my chair and was like, "Oh my God, Joe's going to be on a call tonight!" But he was just the host. But yeah, it's okay. I mean, I still like Michael Cole. I got no problem with it. There have been Michael Cole haters for years, ever since he started with WWE. I have not been one of those. Was he as good as JR? No, but he was good enough. I mean, he managed to work for Vince for all those years, screaming in his ear.
He did when it was him and Jerry the King Lawler. It was very good. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed that commentating team. So, I guess. I mean, good Lord, everybody hates everything in wrestling. It's like nobody can you have to have some kind of complaint about something. So,
wrestling fans are like NASCAR fans. They're just fickle as hell.
Mm-hmm.
This was something that was pointed out to me. Look at Chelsea Green's. This is for the inaugural Women's United States title. Which they threw out Harley Race's name and mentioned the year 1974, though I was always under the impression it was 73 that the U.S. title was invented, if anybody wants to Google that at home. But as you know, the U.S. title is my favorite title because it was born and bred here in the Carolinas, and it's the only title from Jim Crockett Promotions to continue its lineage to this day. So there you go. So now they've got a women's version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea Green and Mia Yim. Mia Yim's shown a lot of improvement since she came back.
What the thing I loved about this is 3 TNA people working and doing a match on and with Chelsea Green, getting the. I guess can we spoil it or are you waiting to say who?
No. Everybody knows who won.
Because I guess when is it Mishin? Is that how they said now? She was in TNA, as Mia Kim, and then Chelsea Green was in TNA, and Nick Aldis was in TNA, and it's great to see these people that I've been watching, when TNA wasn't, well, it's coming back now, but it had a bad time a few years and stuff, but I just thought that was just really neat to see these TNA people doing so well and winning titles.
Yep. I didn't notice last night during the TV broadcast. Look at all the print on Chelsea's own face on her gear.
Oh yeah. Her hat had it too. The hats had like little dangly things that were her face. So
oh my God.
She's fun to hate. So
This is her tights are actually a tribute to her husband. Because when he was Zack Ryder in WWE, remember how he used to wear the trunks with one long leg and one
oh yeah, he
trunk
did, didn't
leg?
he?
Yeah. So that's how what I was told was a tribute to her hubby. So
Hmm.
and yeah, they went back and forth for a while. Few screw ups in this one, nothing too bad.
No, no, and they recovered very well because
Yeah.
I think Misha slipped, but they recovered really well. That again, I think that comes down to um that they've worked other places besides just the WWE. So I'm sure they're used to, you know, changing, having to cut, fix themselves on the fly. So, but
Well,
I enjoyed
Chelsea Green also wrestled Bailey on Friday night on SmackDown to qualify for this match. And there was a point in the match where Bailey looked out at Piper Niven and gave it that look like this bitch,
I guess,
like she wasn't like mad at her, she was just frustrated, you know what I mean? And
I,
so
yeah, I thought when Piper Niven put her up on her shoulders that we were going to see a Batista. Was it Batista and Randy Orton, where he picked him up on his shoulders and then dropped him? Do you remember when it was
that's
the
an
former?
electric chair. That's what
Yeah,
that's called, I
yeah,
believe.
yeah. So I thought we'd see that, but she seemed to take it. She said, they mentioned in the Pat McAfee mentioned, like, and asked Piper Nevin if she was jealous, and she said, "Don't you have any friends?" And she's my friend, so we'll see how long that lasts. That usually doesn't last very well.
Yeah, no, Chelsea's gonna push her away at some point. But anyway, Chelsea Green got a big win. There's Nick Aldis with the presenting her with the championship. So Chelsea Green will always be a trivia question in wrestling history from now on. Who was the inaugural WWE United States Women's Champion? Chelsea Green. And did you see Samantha Irvin first started doing that? The funny with the putting the extra emphasis on her name. Then Vince had her stop, and then after Vince left, they told her to start doing it again.
Yeah,
And then so that spread to the other ring announcers. The SmackDown ring announcer does it when because she wrestles mostly on SmackDown, I think. And yeah, because Adam Pearce sent her over there because he just got tired of dealing with her.
yeah,
He was like, Chelsea, her name ought to be Karen.
yeah,
But and so Nick Aldis knows how to deal with her a little bit better. But yeah, so so Lillian Garcia got to do it last night. And there's videos. Somebody, one of the WWE people were shooting Lily and making the announcement that she had won the match. You can find it on social, and she goes Chelsea, and you could see that she was just like so thrilled to be doing that.
yeah.
Lillian looks like she's having a time of her life right now. She's so glad to be back in wrestling, and we're glad
She
to have
was,
her.
she's a really good ring announcer. I've always thought she did a really good job.
And she's probably been proposed to more than any other woman in American history. Because one time I went to Raw, like back in '03 or whatever, every time she got in the ring, you'd hear the people would whistle and cat call, and then you'd hear, Lillian, will you marry me? No,
Yeah,
Lillian, marry me. During the commercial breaks. No, it's like, holy God. So, but she never took anybody up on that. She's still not been married. And that I'm told is a tribute to the Macho Man and Elizabeth that they did.
oh yeah, it
Last
does
night.
look like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Hmm,
so,
interesting.
and,
That didn't end well.
no, it didn't, neither will this. But so a lot of people were saying, well, they didn't do the interviews in front of the red curtain and all that kind of stuff. And they were saying they left that off the show. I'm glad they didn't. I thought the show moved along just as well. But guess what? If you go on WWE's YouTube, yes, they did do those red background interviews like the old days. And but they were just internet only, internet exclusive type things. So they're there if you want to see them. I sent the CM Punk one to you,
Yes, I did. Yeah.
and one
Ouch.
other one.
Right.
Let's see, and of course there's Coco Beware and Greg Valentine. Uh, I don't know. I guess everybody ever wonder what happened to Frankie?
Who's Frankie?
The parrot.
Oh,
Brian smiled. Tell a story, Brian. You tell it.
Um, oh, I believe the Frankie bit Rick Diesel when Coco worked for us one time. When, like the first or second year I was wrestling, and Frankie bit Rick.
oh, wow. That's crazy.
I wonder what made Rick Diesel think it was a good idea to get his fingers near Parrot's beak.
I don't know.
Because you have to get in close for him to be able to get you.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know how good he got him, but he got him.
That's funny.
If I know Rick Diesel, he probably got too close to that bird, tried to swing on it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Now, see, I did not know that story. I know how Frankie met his end.
Oh, how did he meet his end?
House fire.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when
That's what I heard.
That's what. How long when you worked at PetSmart, didn't you tell people how long birds live?
yeah. I mean, some of them can live a really long time, so you have to will them to your kids. Because I had this guy come in and he wanted to buy a parrot for his daughter, like his 10-year-old daughter.
Uh-huh.
And I was trying to talk him out of it because it's just not a good idea. And I was like, when she goes to college, you're going to have a bird. I was like, in a few years when she goes to college, you're going to have a parrot. And he was like, let's look at the parakeets instead. I'm like, yeah, that's probably your.
So what, do parrots live like 30 or 40 years or something like
Well,
that?
the smaller ones, yeah, live about 30 to 40. The bigger ones I think that can live even longer, like
Oh, wow.
50, 60 years. Like the bigger the bird, the longer it can live.
Okay. Good to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, right. Here you go. Random knowledge. See, sometimes you get really good random knowledge on this show.
Yeah. And don't buy a parrot for grandma.
Oh,
No.
no, definitely
No.
not.
Yeah, it's like that old joke John Boy and Billy said about Peepaw died, so they wanted to send something nice to Meemaw, but they couldn't drive the parrot they bought her way up in the mountains, so they had it sedated and had it shipped. And so about a week later, they called Grandma and said, "Grandma, how did you like your present?" And Grandma said, "Oh, he was plumb delicious." And it was like, "Grandma, that won't no eating bird. That was a talking parrot." And she said, "Well, it looks like when I went to put him in the pot, he'd have said something." But anyway, so Kevin Owens comes to the ring. I did not notice this about his shirt yesterday.
Mhm.
Kevin Owens' Canadian Dream, and it's a picture of Dusty's body with his face.
Yes, I know.
Face
I did.
taped on.
And the back of it said main event.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if they're going to sell these because to tell
Oh,
you the
I'm
truth,
sure they are. I'm
I would
sure
buy
they
that
are.
shirt. That shirt, that's funny.
We'll look on WWE shop right now. Hang on.
I like Kevin Owens. I know this, disagreement with somebody who used to be your friend always causes a lot of issues, and especially in wrestling. So I'm gonna get me a U.S. women's title and put up on the wall.
Let's see here. So we want to find Kevin Owens.
Can I go get my tiramisu while you're looking for this? That's why I got up the first time when I wasn't supposed to get up. Oh my God. They have to sell it because it said main event on the back of it.
Yeah. T-shirts. There we go.
So when is John Cena going to have his final match?
He's going to have a bunch of final matches. He's going to do one more retirement tour. Say farewell tour. I don't want John Cena stuff. I want Kevin Owens.
You don't get it.
Well, it had an arrow that I could pop. Let's see. Let's just do it like
they could have sold out. Yep. Stop. Sorry. talking to my kitten that doesn't listen. Stop.
I don't see one.
Well, if it's not, they need to do it. So
Let's see. Let's try this.
no, you can't eat that.
Okay. Events.
Wish they sold. I wish I had kept up with my shirts. I had a really good Stone Cold one that said "Blood from a Stone," but my friends called it my "Blood from a Mark" shirt. I really liked it.
No, I don't see it.
My NWO rules and what is it? Rules and bones are to be broken. I think.
Hey, they still got fat boy sizes left if you're interested. I know that's what I always look at. As a matter of fact, let me get out of here. I'm not going to because I might end up clicking the wrong thing and logging on and y'all seeing how much fan cash I got and be like, God damn, boy, how much do you spend on Fanatics? Well, every sports league is under Fanatics banner now. So if you buy any type of Major League Baseball, NHL, NFL, WWE, all that's under Fanatics now. But anyway, so Cody Rhodes brought back the old winged eagle.
Oh, that was cool. I did like that.
Yeah. So, and they proceeded to have a hell of a match. Though it was weird, though, all the things that Kevin Owens has been saying about Cody Rhodes, about him being, arrogant and all that kind of stuff, it kind of turned out to be true. I mean, or self-serving and all that kind of stuff. Look, Michael Cole and Pat McAfee running for their life. Jesse's just sitting there.
Just sitting there. I saw that. When he went to put him through the table, I was like thinking, "You gonna get up, Jesse?" And he did not. I think he just scooted back, just like kink. So, you always hate it when that that announce table does not break. It looks so painful.
Yeah, it doesn't break as much as it used to. I don't think I got it set to automatic break. I think you have to hit it with some pretty good force now for it to fall down. Because you're right, Reagan. Now, you see a lot more people bouncing off that thing than you used to.
Well, Sami Zayn bounced off of it. They threw him on it, and he just slid right off of it and went right into the barrier behind it. So.
Yep. I thought they had a good match. I thought Cody and Kevin did. I thought this match was better than their first one on pay-per-view, honestly.
That Swanton is so good.
Look at that picture. Isn't it great? Look at that. See, look at that. All you AEW people. See what happens when you sell all your seats? You don't need a big set. Look at that. See, look at all these people.
I know.
Not pictured as the other half of the Coliseum, which is also full of people. Sorry, I was just doing a little trolling there. But AEW is going to run Collision down here in Charlotte.
Ooh.
Yeah, their Saturday night show. So,
when is that?
I'd have to check. It's
I need to look. I would go. I want to go because I want to come back and be like, you know what? Those pictures are not true. But I doubt that's what's going to happen.
Mm-mm.
But I would love to go.
They've already killed this town. The last time they were here, they barely drew 3,000. And so, yeah. But we'll see. I mean, it's on a Saturday night, so they do have a snowball's chance. If they book something that has some nostalgia tied to it, they might be able to draw a decent house. I don't know, though, but
did I send you the video of Darby Allin punching himself in the face and making his mouth bleed?
No.
Oh my God. Ow. Okay, Serafina, stop. Ouch. Sorry.
That's what happens when you play with cats.
It's a kitten.
Scratch up.
It's a kitten. There was a video of him on TikTok at the interview, was it with Tony Schiavone? And he just punched himself right in the mouth. He's like, I don't even care about that. I don't even hurt. And I'm like, I cannot wait till he gets no, I'm not gonna say that. Never mind, I'm not gonna say it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you don't have to wish death on him. That's gonna happen anyway. I mean,
at some point. I want him to be the first wrestler that we're like, They were like, who's the first professional wrestler to die on Mount Everest? And you are the only professional wrestler to ever die on Mount Everest. And you could say Darby Allin. So,
Yeah. So
that Cody Cutter. Oh, that's not Cody Cutter. That's the crossbody, isn't it?
Yeah, the referees took a beating in this one. Poor Charles Robinson, he got knocked down. Then Eddie Rango got knocked down. I knew every referee on this show's name, except the referee that refereed the first match, the one that Michael Cole says looks like Eddie Munster,
No.
because he never says his real name. He just says, "Oh, he's Eddie Munster," and I'm like,
well, that's nice. Maybe it's like Smiley. That's his thing.
yeah, I guess. But anyway, Cody kept. What'd y'all think about the end though? Cody using the chair.
I liked it. I liked it because Cody is a really good guy, but it's a smart thing to do. I mean, Kevin had been kicking out, and so you got to make the decision. I mean, because yes, he used the chair, but he didn't use it.
Well, and it was payback.
Yeah.
He said that you crossed the line, and now there's no line that I won't cross. So, him using a chair in a match isn't even that extreme. So, but yeah, he's just showing him that I can dish it out as well as take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like
Jesse Ventura jumped all over that though.
Well, of course, he's always been the one to take up for the bad guys. That's always been his thing. Because even before the match, he was like, taking up for Kevin Owens and saying that he was right about what he's been saying about Cody Rhodes.
What a great shot, man. What a great shot. It looks like it was just taken like with a regular lens.
It does. It looks fantastic. But it was a good.
Go ahead, Reagan.
No, I was just going to say, I was just really impressed with this whole show. I think they did an excellent job of putting people out there who would pique the interest of a casual watcher, or a watcher who's never watched wrestling before. I think they put on a show that would make people like, this was really good. Maybe I should start trying to watch it, So I thought they did a really good job of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that crowd, when Chelsea Green won that title, that crowd was ecstatic. That crowd was perfect for this show too. They were all into it, and just, every kick out they responded. And I think they did a really good job of presenting a wrestling show that people who may not like wrestling would be interested in. So good stuff.
Yeah, I was all for it. I enjoyed it. Very much so. I'm going to do something for the first time that we've never done on this show. And for our Facebook people, you're watching live. YouTube, you won't notice because I'm going to pause the recording because I need to take a restroom break. And so this just kind of hit me all of a sudden. All of a sudden, I'm like a 5-year-old girl. Daddy, stop the car. But we just left McDonald's. Oh, my God. Why didn't you pee there? I didn't have to go then, Daddy.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes.
We all know that, don't
you? You even ask, okay, we're getting ready to leave the store. You might need to go. No. And then, but I didn't need to then.
I just say in my shoot job, just try.
Yeah. So, now, Brian, Reagan, if y'all want to stay here and keep talking to the audience and discussing whatever you want to do, that's fine. But I'm going to get up and go away for about five minutes, and because I'm going to smoke too while I'm there.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Well, we'll try. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Now, I run my mouth all the time.
Let me see. What
do you want to talk?
Oh, okay.
We can talk about that. We could give an introduction about Ray Phoenix and that letter if you want to hit that back once you get back.
We'll do that when I get back. And y'all can kind of talk about the setup of that and talk to them about, what's been going on, how that people are telling me that Ray Phoenix hadn't been on AEW in like a year.
I know he was injured. He got injured. And so what happened was he, his brother, he and Pentagon Jr. are like real brothers. They're
Yep.
like shoot
All right, I
brothers.
got you going. Y'all keep going.
Yeah. Okay. So, we were introduced with Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix in Lucha Underground.
Mm-hmm.
And they did so we watched them there, and they didn't play brothers there, but they were real, they're really good. They're really good workers. They do really good with their gimmick and everything. And so it was starting to be kind of rumored that they were going to get signed by the WWE. And Ray Phoenix had probably been out about a year with an injury. And in the past, it had seemed like when people, so they extended his contract, even though a lot of times they won't do that. Tony Khan won't do that. But when they started talking about that they wanted to be signed by WWE, Tony Khan decided to back off of that and say that he had to give him the amount of time he was out on his contract. So the thing that happened is Ray Phoenix came out the past couple of weeks and was saying that when he was injured, that Tony Khan did not send him or provide medical, not medical help, like
medical care
for his injury. And so, there's this whole big thing because I think now it's been official that Pentagon is signed with the WWE. So I think they're just waiting for Ray Phoenix, but Tony Khan is holding on to him. And so the internet is like half and half because people hate Tony Khan and it's like he's being terrible. And then the other people, it's like, well, this is Tony Khan's investment. And so he needs to do his time that was left on his contract. So I don't know.
I just think, to me, if you haven't been using him all this time anyway, I think it's just being petty. That's what it seems like to me, that he is because if somebody doesn't want to be there, then don't make them stay. And again, it would be different if you put all this effort into pushing this guy, had a belt on him, and he was one of your top stars, but you haven't been using him because he's been injured. So I think it's ridiculous to say that he's just getting his investment out of him.
Yeah,
I think it's just him being petty.
Well, it also seems to be they pushed Lucha Brothers pretty hard there for a while, but then again, it's like they have so many people on their roster that they'll like push somebody for like really hard, and then all of a sudden you just won't ever see them again. Mm-hmm. It kind of goes back to with the GCW stuff. I didn't know that Willie Mack was even in AEW. They said, and he's another guy that we watched from Lucha Underground. So I had no. People say that he's been working some for Ring of Honor, but I don't even think I knew at all that he was still being paid by AEW, and he got pulled from that GCW show. So there's again just that his roster and locker room is so huge,
right?
And like, why hold on to somebody that doesn't want to be there? I mean, we saw that what happened was, who was the guy in Mustafa Ali, who wanted his release. And it just, it just comes off as petty. I agree.
Yeah.
Especially, it's not like it's Swerve Strickland who just came off their belt,
right,
and was trying to get out of a contract.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying is, maybe you don't want, if you have somebody that just had your belt, you may want to let them cool down a little bit. You don't want to let their heat from being your champion go immediately over to the competition. But that makes sense. But this decision doesn't make sense. His brother is already over there, and you're just running out the clock for no reason.
Yeah, and it makes you look like a tool.
Right.
I mean, yet again, it's like, if he were to take this and just let Ray Phoenix go, like some of his haters might be like, well, I don't know. the people that hate him.
Right. But he's giving them more ammunition.
He's giving them a lot more ammunition because it just, he's just doing it to be spiteful.
Right.
It's very rare. I mean, I haven't heard very many stories with AEW where he held on to people because of injury time. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just know that this is like one of the biggest like issues that have come out recently about it. And it's just bad. It looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's the optics of it for AEW looks bad because, like I said, he complained and said that they didn't give him medical care. And there's been former people that have agreed with him. I think Miro said the same thing, who was Rusev in WWE. He said the same thing. And one other
CM
Punk said the same thing. And of course, with CM Punk, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. But
right, but if it were just him by himself, you might not have so much credibility because he hates them so much anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But when other people are collaborating, then it's like, then you could say, okay, well, he's not the only one saying this,
right? And it's just, oh man, I know,
and Tony Khan's explanation on why Ray Phoenix wasn't getting medical care.
And I think Matt has that when it's coming up. Well, the thing that it's terrible about this is in the beginning, Tony Khan sold the AEW on you're not a contract or not. You have a contract. You're not a independent contractor. I'm giving you all this pay. I'm always paying for your hotel rooms. I'm always paying for your rental cars. I'm always paying all this stuff. And I think they even said that he was giving them insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was all this stuff in the beginning that made it look like it was going to be something good for wrestlers. And it's just like all that talk just flew out the window. And now we're kind of seeing what's actually going on, there and stuff. So it's interesting to see a lot of weird stuff going on with AEW. They're having a show, and they did like a press conference, and it was like 50 people there. Like, and it was Bobby Lashley was there, and even Bobby Lashley was like saying that Tony Khan wants to be everybody's friend.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just curious about like the insurance and stuff like that, the medical care. It almost seems like it's selective. It's like some people are getting it and some people aren't, and I'm wondering if it's just bad management or if it's favoritism.
Yeah, so it's very interesting because, like I said, something, Matt, you didn't hear this. We're talking about the medical issue with Ray Phoenix, and Brian and I were talking about that. In the beginning, Tony Khan was really pushing that you're not an independent contractor. You have a contract with me. I'm paying for your rental car. I'm paying for this, paying for that. I'm giving you insurance. And now with this Ray Phoenix thing, it just doesn't come across as true. So
no, I mean, even CM Punk said in that interview he did a few months ago that when he got his tri-tip torn, he was just left on his own to source his own doctors and all that kind of stuff.
And I was telling, this is Miro said the same thing also. Rusev, he said when he got injured, the exact same thing happened. So it's interesting. I hate that, because we were just saying he just looks petty for this whole thing. And then if you want to give now I will say
that's what Stevie Richards called him, was petty.
Is that what he said?
Yes, I don't know if y'all have heard Stevie Richards' podcast yet, but it is brilliant. It's like Wrestling 101. It's fantastic. It's like taking a college course.
Oh, I like him, so that'd be interesting to listen to. Because I was talking about too, I don't know if you saw this, they had a press conference for the show that they're getting ready to do. I don't know where, I can't remember. And there was like 50 people there at the press conference.
Yeah,
and even
it was in Texas at Arlington at the ballpark.
That's right. And as Bobby Lashley went on a podcast afterwards and was kind of talking about, I don't know, his main thing was Tony Khan wants to be everybody's friend, and you can't be everybody's friend in this business and be successful. And Bobby Lashley freaking works for him.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley just signed. Bobby Lashley's been there 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not been long at all.
And I guarantee you that Bobby Lashley, because I've heard about what a good guy Bobby is behind the scenes. And, I've also heard the same thing about Sheldon Benjamin and MVP. WWE was like, dude, we just don't have a spot for you right now. When your contract, go, if you're getting an offer from AEW, take the money. And then after your 2 or 3 years, whatever your contract is, we can bring you back in here for one last run with a lot of fanfare and stuff. And the fans will have missed you. And you can come on back, and maybe you can lend some wisdom to them over there to help prop them up and inflate the whole business. Because a rising tide raises all ships, right?
Yeah.
So everybody wants AEW to be successful, but they keep doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different outcome, and it's just not going to happen.
No.
I remember what we were talking about before we went on the air. Tony Khan seems like he's got that kind of personality too. I'm the smartest guy in the room. You need to do things my way because I know what's best. And he ain't going to hear suggestions from nobody else. I mean, he'll listen, but he's going to do what he's got written down.
Yes, he said he's the guy that did an interview that didn't do good at the interview, but still got the job, I think is what he said. Because, so.
I'm sure that you were interviewing with one of your dad's businesses, and if you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars record this year, clearly there's some mismanagement going on there now all of a sudden. So, and I hate it because just a year or two ago they were in the playoffs. And I was thinking, well, maybe Tony can turn this thing around. I mean, the team's looking pretty good. That was the famous one where Shad Khan was sleeping in the owner's box.
Yeah.
And they scored a touchdown. And he woke up and was cheering, and the announcers are like, well, Shad's a hardworking man. And I could see that was the kind of sleep that you see from somebody who's exhausted, right? As soon as they sit down in a chair and relax a little bit, because they're just, they work all the time. So, so I don't begrudge Shad for that. That's probably the first chair he'd sit in all day. So,
yeah.
But I mean, I want AEW to do better, but Brian and Reagan, if y'all want to spend your money and come down to the Bojangles Coliseum and check out Collision, I'd love to hear what y'all think of it.
I would like if it, depends on when it is and how much it is.
We can
I would like to because I wanted to see them when they came and went. Something came up. I don't remember what it was. Something with my children. So
let me go to the old handy dandy Ticketmaster app here. I guess I want to say my Bowman Gray ticket still hadn't shown up. If anybody that's a race fan out there will understand why I'm concerned. January 4th.
Oh damn, that's like 2 weeks. So I'm still recovering from Christmas by then. I'm not.
Yeah.
And New Year's.
Oh, here's something interesting. They're going to be at the Manhattan Center, December 21st and 22nd. Now, if you remember the Manhattan Center, it's that place in New York that ECW used to run. It's got the big balconies. It's a big.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Is that
Collision?
They're also running the Hammerstein. Is that the Hammerstein Ballroom? No, that's the one in Philly. They're running there too because that's what
Hammerstein's actually in the same building. It's just the Hammerstein and then the Manhattan Center is actually like on the first or second floor, and the Hammerstein's like on the fifth floor or something like that. I think is how it works. I've never been to New York, so I don't really know.
Because the GCW has a show there 2 weeks after that one.
Yeah, but I heard they were mad.
GCW was booked first, and then AEW went in. And that's what's causing this friction right now between GCW and AEW. So,
well, GCW has the same problem a lot of independents. They think they're more important than they are. And anybody that's ever come to Mid Atlantic, AIWF Mid Atlantic knows we do not have that issue. I mean,
and but it's a bigger indie and stuff. So, and I just don't think you should run a show 2 weeks before one that's already booked there. I think that's poor taste. But that's just me. That's just me being old school, and you should respect, whatever. I'm old. So
looks like plenty of seats are still available for that AEW event in Arlington, Texas, at the baseball stadium.
The one that they did. The one that they didn't open up tickets to until like last week. Like they've had it on the I guess the books that they were going to have a show there. They just opened the tickets up, and people were talking about how weird that is. So,
well, they have a 5+ pack. They're selling them in bulk. Cheapest ticket is $31. Let's switch to the map. Let's see what they want for ringside. Let's go down here to section D. All right, most of those are sold. $570.50 per seat for ringside for that Arlington show.
Yeah. For AEW?
Yep.
500.
That's ringside.
So I don't care.
You get to work a dark match and for $500.
If you know how to work included with your ticket, you get to work a dark match.
I mean,
then you go to your seat, and they'll give you a hot dog and a handshake, and you can go to your seat and watch the rest of the show.
I think
then you could say AEW superstar on your resume.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't want this to descend into trashing AEW, but damn.
Is this a pay-per-view for them, or is it a regular show?
It's a pay-per-view.
Okay. Still. Considering this is, but that's supply and demand. When nobody wants you, your stuff goes up. So, if anybody knows anything about economics, but you would think with all this negative, not advertising, but like everybody's talking about how they're not filling arenas. Everybody's showing those pictures. Everybody's showing those pictures during a show. Like you would think that somebody would be like, hey, we're not selling tickets. Let's cut them in half. Let's make front row 250 and see if we can sell more tickets. But but then you got to, like I said, that's not the way economics works. They have to be able to pay for the building because they don't sell enough tickets, so you have to charge more. So
let's take a look. Let's do some ticket price analysis in this segment here. All right, here's the Bojangles Coliseum. Anybody that's ever been in there knows it's a really cool room, and you have the dome. It's a real high ceiling. It's great. I love it. But the last time I was there, they ran out of chicken, which I just thought was inappropriate for something at the Bojangles Coliseum.
I've been WC. We went to a WCW show there 100 years ago, or 25 years ago. So, but it is a very and it's a good size for wrestling. Like it's not teeny tiny, but it does feel sort of intimate. You know what I mean? Because it's not gigantic.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like you're paying, and like their nosebleed is not like Greensboro's nosebleeds.
No. All right. So here's the bleacher seating right down here, right where the bleachers connect with the floor. 138.05, and then over here, 138.05, and then right here, 120.05 for the one row back. Up here, 83.75. That's more reasonable. 107. That's right in front of the ring though. 107.40. Let's see what we got up here. 83.75. 67.25. Okay. That's more reasonably priced. Let's see what we got down here at ringside. Let's see here. Front row. 165.50. 324.20 for second row. 256.35 third row. 233.
Do you think they do that thing where if they don't have enough people, they pull you down? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I don't know. But if you zoom out here, all these sections that are grayed out are closed.
Right.
These are the only seats they have available. Now, if they fill up all those, they might open up more sections. But and as you can see, VIP packages $297 to $520. Let's see what's included in VIP.
Tell me what's included in that.
Well, it just says, let's see, hover over the information thing. Click. Go. All right. All Elite Experience Champion VIP includes exclusive priority entry crowd, free shopping, priority seating, take home exclusive VIP merchandise, and receive a $20 concession voucher. Okay. All Elite, let's see, starts with an AEW on-site welcome concierge. Get exclusive AEW insights at a VIP reception hosted by an AEW special guest. Grammar. And meet the stars of AEW. Also, a ringside photo opportunities with AEW championship belts. Experience
Which one? They have 900. Which one? Which one? I am.
Full VIP details. Oh, this is a lot. Let's see.
I can't see that because my eyes are. I'll look on my phones if I can see it.
I don't want to read all that. It's basically what I just read. Just laid out on a full page.
You get a VIP credential and lanyard.
Yeah. So all Elite Experience Challenger package. So
what does it mean? Free show, like free shopping. What does that mean?
It means they'll let you hit the merch table before they let any other fans in.
Thanks. I guess you won't have to wait in line.
Yeah.
For the merch, but
that's why you got to go in. That's what you do when you go to a concert, a show, anything. You go get your shirt first, and then go sit down.
I don't buy gimmicks at the events anymore. You know,
I buy gimmicks everywhere I go. Give me a gimmick.
But anyway, there's some of these things. Champion VIP package, right across from the ring on the second row. There are a few of those left. Anything that you see in gold here is a VIP package. Front row right there.
That whole one section is VIP, is it?
No, it looks like just like the front rows.
Oh, I was looking at I guess those
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Challenger package. That's not the full VIP package. Like, see, because it's two Champion VIP package, Challenger VIP package. So not as much good shit on this one.
Is that they should call it the Jobber VIP package. And I just, I would like to go, but I don't have that kind of money. I have other things I want to see more. But hell, if they did something that they said $30, I'd have gone. Even if it was not a great seat,
Let's see. There's 3640 right there across.
Where's that at?
Across the. See, here's the ring. Here's the entrance.
Can you imagine how bad that seat is?
It's not ideal for my taste, but if you just wanted to go to be at the show,
that's true. I wish it wasn't right after Christmas. It's too soon after the holidays. Yeah, that's the other thing. This is 3 days after the New Year's, and my money's going to booze that night, so I can't afford that ticket.
So there's your ticket prices, everybody, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Quickly mention because we
didn't talk about what the letter said that people say was a backstage memo.
Yeah. Let me just quickly plug T's Creations. I don't have the PowerPoint ready. I'm not in my right state of mind right now, as most people know. But thank you. I did send out a prayer and thought and good vibe request on Facebook last night, and the response has been tremendous. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I don't like doing stuff like that. I don't like posting stuff about my personal life, but man, when you're in a pickle, especially with a family member's health, sometimes you get desperate. But I appreciate everybody's feedback, man. It made me feel a little better. So Tony Khan, evidently, we were trying to figure out if this was real or not. But let me show it to everybody. It's going to be hard for you to see. because the print's going to be small. But this is supposedly a internal letter that went out to AEW employees and was leaked by somebody. And when I get to the part where I question if this was real or not, you're going to know. But I'll stop when I do. All right, it says, the title of it says, Statement from AEW CEO Tony Khan. I want to address the recent claims made by Ray Phoenix regarding the medical care and treatment he has received in AEW. I want to sincerely apologize to Ray for any misunderstandings or issues he has faced. Okay, starts off pretty good. The reality is that Ray does not speak English fluently, which has made it very challenging for us to properly communicate and understand his needs at times. For example, this is the part where I thought this was a joke. For example, when Ray suffered an injury last year, I thought he was trying to tell me that he was hungry, so I sent him to get something to eat at a nearby restaurant instead of getting him immediate medical attention. I feel terrible about that situation, and I take full responsibility. If that's true, it's also hilarious. And I like to thank Tony Khan for admitting to something so Three Stooges like happening.
First of all, they're in fucking Florida. You can't tell me that they can't find somebody to fucking translate for the. Then they have several AAA wrestlers.
Yeah.
That English may not be their first language. So there's no. That's what I think. I mean, it seems fake, but then like he's an idiot. So who knows? Because the rumor mill is saying this was a backstage memo. But who knows? I mean,
I've not heard any other podcasters read it this week, and so I would think that is my giveaway that this is fake. And so so I'll keep reading here. It's funny, if nothing else, for comedy purposes. We are committed to providing the best possible care for all our wrestlers, but the language barrier with Ray has made that more difficult. We are working to improve our communication and translation services to ensure this doesn't happen again. At the end of the day, the fault lies with me and our organization for not being able to properly understood and address Ray's needs. I want Ray to know that his health and well-being are our top priorities. We will redouble our efforts to ensure that he receives the world-class medical care and support he deserves. I'm hopeful we can move forward in a spirit of mutual understanding and work together to create the best possible environment for our entire AEW roster. So as I read it again, I really do think it's fake. And I want to give kudos to whoever wrote this, because your comedic timing with this line, for example, when Ray suffered an injury last year, I thought he was trying to tell me he was hungry, so I sent him to get something to eat at a nearby restaurant instead of getting him immediate medical attention.
Because the word in Spanish for hospital is hospital. Like, like, and it has to be fake. Because, like, yeah, with reading it again, but like I said, you just never know anymore.
Well, that and
it does seem like a very Tony Khan thing that would happen, though, right?
And that's the thing is, it's like I was telling Reagan, there are people, when you hear a rumor about them and you're like, okay, I know that's not true. There's no way that that's real. But then there's some people, it's like the way they are, it's like, this could be real. It's like, whether or not it is real, I could see this person doing that. So so it's almost like they've set themselves up for these kind of rumors, because it's like, no, yeah, I don't know if this is true or not, but I could see him doing that.
Yeah. And it's not so outlandish. Like if I were to come on here and say something like, I invented the question mark. Like, that's really an outlandish lie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you can see right through that. Everybody knows that Dr. Evil invented the question mark and Al Gore invented the internet. So, but this right here is just so subtle But I remember when Reagan, when you first sent this to me, or I sent it to you guys, I can't remember who found it first. But when I read that, for example, line about he was trying to tell me he was hungry, it's like, I
I
don't,
mean, it's just,
whoever
I don't
did
know.
this, kudos. If we can ever find out who did this, and I don't care if it's some punk kid in his basement that's 12 years old, I just want to talk to him on this show. You are invited to come on this show, and uh, and we'll talk to you because I'd like to get it just talk with you and hear your comedic timing
And
because
it's just,
that's
yeah,
good
it's
stuff,
perfect. It is
man.
perfect.
So
Oh,
it's like, damn, this got to be fake, but maybe it's real. Oh mercy. Oh, let's see here. Oh, but I'm getting. I'm sorry. I'm not myself right now. I'm exhausted. I'm yawning. I'm sleepy, and um, I did we talk about this on the air before we went on the or when we were on just the Facebook segment about the Shriners commercial during SmackDown? I don't know if we talked about
I
that on
think
the
it was
air before.
before. It was before, but you're also you're talking to at least one person who has possible CTE in her brain. So I don't remember.
All right, so this happened SmackDown Friday night. Uh, all the all the charities are asking for money right now, and we know that wrestling is not coveted by advertisers. So usually you'll get when you're watching wrestling, you'll get a lot of PSAs and charities advertising there. Well, the Shriners Hospital is doing their big Christmas push, and they had Trace Atkins on there. What a great guy to raise money for you with that deep baritone voice, like these children need your money. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, Trace. And he worked with Wounded Warriors for years now. He's helping these guys. He's kind of like that country singer from the 90s that's more famous for his, work with charities now than,
Right.
every light in the house is on. But, and so they're playing I'll Be Home for Christmas. The sick kids or crippled kids, and I know crippled is not the PC word to use now. Disabled, I guess, would be the way to go. But and I remember when it was just normal talk to Jimmy Valiant coming out. I'm trying to raise money for the crippled children's fund. So come on down to Walmart and see me Saturday at 1 o'clock. So anyway, but the Shriners a great charity, man. They do help a lot of kids, and they're trying to raise money to send them home. And they've got some kind of generous donor right now. If they raise some rich person, I guess, has pledged that whatever they raise during this campaign, he or she is gonna triple it.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
so now's a good time to give because you got a millionaire or billionaire out there that wants to be challenged to spend some big money. So but they're trying to raise money to send the kids home for the holidays to pay their travel expenses that they're treating right now. And it's the same ones. If you've seen the Shriners commercials, the kids they use to pitch. It's always the same ones, and they're pleading their case with you for your money, and so is Trace Atkins. And it's a picture-in-picture ad. And while you're hearing this, you're seeing Solo Sikoa stomp on LA Knight's legs and knees, and the irony was not lost on me and Jinky. I was like, that's a real pretty commercial, but did you notice how kind of weird it is that Solo Sikoa is stomping on LA Knight's knees and ankles and legs while
That's
these
the
kids while these kids on crutches are making their pitch, and the girl with one leg, talking about how much she'd like to go home and how important it is. So
that's the thing about those picture in pictures. Sometimes it doesn't line up very well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but it did give me, like, you remember when you were a little kid, like how that if you saw somebody with like on crutches, or God forbid they were missing a limb or all that kind of stuff. Now I like that the Shriners uses these kids in these commercials because yeah, they get sympathy, and make you want to donate money, which is the idea, right? But I wonder if other little kids look at them and go, well, that kid that's only got one leg in my school is probably not a weirdo because that girl's talking like she's really smart, and you know what I'm saying. I wonder if it has that effect on children.
No, it's representation matters. It
Yeah,
does. It does matter, and it's like for all things like that, it's proven that it matters, that it helps, and
I
makes
can
people more
speak to it.
empathetic.
I can speak to it because I never bought into that shit, right? Until I got married. And I noticed because my wife is not a white woman, which anybody out there that knows me probably knew that that was not going to happen from a long time ago. Uh, but uh, but anyway, not putting the mouth on white women, just saying not for me. But
Yeah.
but so anyway, what your Reagan is saying about representation matters, man. And the reason I know that's true now is because anything that me and my wife are both big Disney people. When Disney does subject matter that is based on the peoples of the Pacific, my significant other is very interested and always keen to tuning in and paying close attention. And I was just, and you know, it's not something that hit me like an epiphany. It's just something I noticed over a period of time. And I was like, oh, now I see what that fucking representation matters stuff means.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
I mean,
important
because
that
we're
you see.
represented all the time,
Right.
so
We're used to seeing ourselves reflected in media our whole lives. We have seen ourselves being represented in movies and TV and all these different things. But then, when other groups get to see themselves represented as a main character of a story, yeah, it does. It's special for them.
Hmm. And so, yeah, so I'm definitely down with that, man. You know, I still, I don't think you should go out of your way. Let me try to word this correctly. Still, though, the best person for the job is the best person for the job. Don't, you know, Disney came out with a short cartoon a few years ago. I don't know if you guys saw it. I hope you did because you're wrestling fans. About the grandmother and the granddaughter, and the grandmother was a huge wrestling fan. And I can't remember how it goes. It was really sweet, but they were it was based on luchadors, you
uh-huh.
know, and they were saying a lot of things in Spanish, at which my wife can understand because her first language Tagalog has a lot of there's a lot of Spanish words in it, and you know, see her perk up inside the movie theater before the movie we were watching when that cartoon came on. I wish Disney would do that with every feature length movie they do, cartoon or not. Have a short little 7 minute, like the old timey cartoons at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They do it. They do it still with a lot of, like, if you go see like Frozen or one of the big animated movies, like one that comes to mind now, Moana is coming out, and the new Moana movie, and they'll probably have a short at the beginning of that. I wish they would do that with all their features. Anyway, this is a wrestling show, so
And well, I didn't bring my charger home, so my computer's getting ready to die.
oh, so we're gonna have to wrap this up. I don't. I was going to talk to Rick Diesel about his beef with Texas wrestling, which some people will. I guess we'll try to get that next time.
Mm-hmm.
We're only going to be able to squeeze one more show in before Christmas. It looks like. So hopefully we can be back here Sunday night and next Sunday night. It's we're winging it right now, folks. So, you know, I got a family member with some serious health issues right now, so I don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next, much less 1 week. But we will do our dead level best to be back with you here on next Sunday night here on Facebook and just whenever you get time to watch on YouTube. Brian Reagan, any last thoughts before we get out of here?
No,
All
no.
right.
Well, I guess I should have something amazing to say, but I don't. So,
All right. Well, in case we aren't here next week, let me go ahead and wish you Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. I don't know how many Jewish viewers we've got, but you know, hey, just wanted to say, and Hanukkah starts on Christmas night this year. So Hanukkah and the 12 days of Christmas are going to run consecutive. That does not happen very often. So just so just remember, if you're burning an Advent wreath in the menorah at the same time, just be careful. That's a lot of open flames in my house. So be sure those things are out before you go to bed. That's all I'll tell you. But that's all I've got. So maybe we get Rick Diesel on here next week and he can tell us why he does not like Texas wrestling from the 80s, and we can discuss that. It'll be a lot of fun. Maybe we can look at some old matches too.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
All righty then. Well, for Brian and Reagan Danzig, I am Mad Matt Carter. We'll see you next time, fans. And until then, so long for now.